Welcome to the Kansas Stock Market Game Training. This is Angela Howdeshell, and I'm with the Kansas Council for Economic Education. I am the Vice President for Programs and Administration, and the Stock Market Game is just one of my jobs that I coordinate here in Kansas. The Stock Market Game has been around since 1977, and I'll probably refer to it as SMG from here on out, just because it's so long. And it's a program of the SIFMA Foundation here, which is a Securities and Industry Financial Markets Association. And it was created in 1977 for teachers, and Kansas was one of the first states to adopt it, and we have been operating it in Kansas since 1977 with the help of our Centers for Economic Education. And K-State is one of the centers that was familiar to a lot of people that it was run out of, but it's actually been part of the Kansas Council for Economic Education since it was created here. And we are glad to have you interested in the stock market game, and we have got a lot of changes this year with the program, and that's why we're creating this webinar so that you can watch this and hopefully find out how to register without a lot of issues. There's a couple different statewide rules that we have different in Kansas than you'll find for other states or on the website, so hopefully you've been able to get to it and find out a little bit more. One of the things that you'll see, it's really, especially if you've seen it before, it's a lot easier now to find out where you're going. You can easily click register and log in over here. So once you are done registering and you're ready just to log in to your teacher account and get your passwords or find out everything, then you'll be logging in for the rest of the time. So again, once the first time you register too, it's going to hold on to a lot of information for you, and so that anyway, the additional times that you register will actually it'll be a lot quicker for you. So I'm excited to show you everything, and so I'm going to go ahead and go in here and register. Now the program is actually open to anybody. We've got colleges that have participated, adults, students on their own, homeschools, but the Kansas public and private schools with classroom teachers that are K-12 are the ones that will be able to participate at no cost. Any other team is $10 a team, and you'll just receive a bill for that. But if you're with a school, Kansas school, you will not receive a bill for this, and there'll be no cost. The only thing we do ask is that you have a minimum of 2 students on a team. We really recommend 3 to 5, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. But we are not encouraging any individual teams. Students learn a lot by teamwork. There's a lot of great benefits besides just investing information that they will learn along the way. So let's go ahead and get through this registration, and I'll bring up some of the stuff as we go. I've been working with the program since about 2000, so 2001, and so hopefully I have a little bit of information to share with you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and enter as a new person with my name here, but I have to use somebody else's email because I want to pretend like it hasn't been used before. All right, now when you scroll down a little bit, you can also find information about your program. So if you haven't found out details about Kansas and you want to look a little bit more, you can click on View Programs in my area and put your zip code in and see what you can find out. But I'm going to go ahead and go back to where we were. Oh, and it did delete what we were working on, so let me go back through. And that was a last minute thing there that I was thinking about. I assume that most people know that they're interested by the time they get going here. Okay, so these 2 buttons, Teach Students and Others, that's where you're going to be able to be set up as a teacher, and you will be able to see which teams go which class that you've set up. So you can have more than one class, and then your teams are going to be separated so that you'll know which ones belong to first hour or second hour. If you only have one class that you're using this with, then you'll only have to register one class. But if you want to participate by yourself, if you're an adult or outside of the Kansas school, and then you would pick this Participate by Myself. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click both of these because as a teacher, we like to encourage you to participate with your own team for multiple reasons. One is the students love to compete against you. They love to say, hey, we beat them, we beat the teacher, blah, blah, blah. And so whatever, it just throws a little bit more fun and excitement for them. And it also gives you a chance to experience what their experience. We know that what you make in a semester is not really what determines whether you're a winner or a loser, but it just increases their interest in it. So I've got both of these selected, and that means I'm going to have a teacher team, and I'm also going to be able to have a classroom with it. All right, so then you enter your postal code if you've not participated before. Now, if you have registered with an account before, it's going to bring up information right below this about your school. So you're just going to be able to skip this part and go and confirm your school information that it's the same as last year. If not, there's a place that you can go in and edit. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what happens if you put in a zip code that has schools in it. Okay, so I put in one that I know has some schools in it here in Wichita, and it brings up Chisholm Trail, Gordon Parks, Heights High, Mueller, and that kind of information. And if you wanted private, then it would tell you Three Angels schools here. So let's go back to that. And again, if your school isn't on there, then you would click I don't see my school, and it's going to allow you to enter your school information in. Now, I'm going to go in and change this. Well, actually, I'll go ahead and just accept, well, no, I'll go ahead and put our zip code in, because Wichita State doesn't actually bring up anything. And I'm going to put KCE. And then this school name is what is going to show on the rankings. It's never going to give student names when they're showing on our portfolio rankings, if you're familiar with that. If not, it'll make a little bit more sense later. But the students really like to compete. And we have just a little bit of competition here, but yet no student's name is ever put up here that we will do. So we just do it by school name and the teacher name. And so that's the only thing that people will see on the rankings. And so again, if this is a school name, like Heights High School, that's what's going to show up. All right, if you have more than one school, then that's where things get a little bit hairy, is that you could use your email, and then you would have to register a different school. So I know that a lot of gifted facilitators have multiple schools, and if you want the students to show their school, then you would have to register with multiple school names. And unfortunately, you can't do it all at one screen, so you'd have to go back through this again. School type is the second thing that's going to pop up, and just select the one that fits you most. I'm going to go ahead and pick post-secondary, and our address here. Whoa, I can't type today. Okay. And then the county, if you know that, fill that in. You'll see that anything with the asterisk is required. But again, if you have your county, that just saves me from going in to put it in for my reports. So, and then country would definitely be USA for Kansas. We're smack dab in the middle. And if you know your school district number, please put that in here. And if you don't have one, you can put NA. Or leave it blank because it's not required. But sometimes I think it's easy to know whether you just missed it or if you don't have one. All right, phone number, I don't contact you via phone unless it's an emergency or I'm calling you back. So go ahead and leave a number that would be easy to get if you're wanting me to call you back. I pretty much do everything by email. So if you're waiting for a response or wanting to hear from me, look for it by email. And I'll tell you that, well, we'll go through it a little bit later, but I have one email address that everything comes through with Stock Market Game, and we'll make sure you know that by the time you get done today. Principal, if you have one here, then fill that out if you can. If you don't know their name, just guess. All right, so now we're ready to set up our classes. And if you didn't get the blue box to move it forward, then just go back and look and see that something that was required probably wasn't filled out. All right, so now I know that I'm going to use this with my first hour and third hour economics, just for an example. So I'm going to write a name down First, whatever, this is only for you, so whatever you want to be able to use to distinguish the classes, then this is what you could pick. And again, if you're only having one, then it doesn't matter what you put because you're the only one seeing this besides me. Subject area, again, you can pick whatever works closest to you. And I'm going to go ahead and put, oh, just for the fun of it, we'll do that. And you can have a second subject area if you'd like. Oh, actually, I think they took that off. They did. Yep, there's only one subject area now. So a student type is what comes up next. I'm going to use teacher. Class type. If you are working with the gifted students, please mark that. And then if you are at the beginning of the year and you don't know how many students you're going to have yet, just guess. And again, if it changes, it's not a big deal, but we just want your best guess here. So I'm going to pretend like I'm working with 5, and I'm going to ask for 2 teams. I have 3 boys and 2 girls, so I'm going to have them in 2 teams, and or whatever works best with you. Again, we recommend 3 to 5 because if you have groups of 2, one of the things that might happen is you'll have one that might be in sports and they're gone a lot, or they're sick, or something happens. So if you have 3 on a team, then you can actually always, more than likely have somebody to work with. It's not as much fun when you're working by yourself. And again, teamwork is a really big push with all this 21st century stuff and careers, and it's just a really important part for students to learn to get along. And I think that, again, this is just definitely a good byproduct of it. And you can also have students making trades on the same account on 5 different computers or 10 different computers. So it really doesn't matter. They can all be logged in seeing the same thing at the same time. The only rule that you'll find is like if you have 2 students on one team that are trying to buy Nike within 5 minutes of each other, it's got a special thing in there to catch it, so it's not going to process it. So that's a safety feature, but again, if they were 10 minutes apart trading Nike, it will allow it, but just not within 5 minutes of each other. So it really does work well to have multiple students on a team. Okay, national organization, if you're doing this with DECA or any of these groups here, I think there was one for, FCCLA and FBLA, go ahead and fill that out and let us know. And then if you would like to have a financial professional volunteer, we have a new program called Invest It Forward that we're starting up, and our first, we have got a series of PowerPoints and activities for this person, this financial professional, to use with your class that go along with the stock market game. So we've kind of just made a quick and easy way to try to find somebody to work with you and do a lot of the legwork for them and for you. So if you want to say yes, then you will be contacted by somebody, and we'll try to work out what you would like to have. And I'll go ahead and click yes so we can see what's going to happen here if it gives us another screen. And then I have a check mark now, so that means I'm ready to go. All right, I have my first class done, and I confirm that everything's there. Well, and if I wanted to change something, like maybe I've decided I want to have more than 5 students, I can go in here and think, oh, I'm really going to have 10, so I can go ahead and go in and change that. And I clicked on that, and now I'm ready to go for my next class. And again, if you only have one class, then you're done. You can click Find Your Program. But I'm going to go ahead and just because I want to have a sample to work with a little bit later. All right, I said 3rd, so I'll just stick with 3rd. Again, I'll just do college level classes on this one and adult. So again, this just whatever works for you. And this one I'm going to have 9 students and 3 teams. No national organization, and I'm going to say no on this one, and I'm going to add it. All right, again, same thing. If you change your mind and you want to edit something, you can go in and edit this time and delete this. Now, once this is completely submitted and everything's done, you will not be able to edit things. But until we get all the way over to done, you can go back and make changes. So now I'm going to find my program. So it's looking for the ones in the zip code, which is found the Kansas Stock Market Game, which is us. So, and there's my name there. And so you'll click that and continue to the next step, which is that one. And then if you would like to participate in the 14-week trading window that we have, you're welcome to. You don't have to make trades and be active the whole 14 weeks. It's kind of a real flexible one. It's like makes it easy if you are getting a later start than you expected. Maybe you can trade all the way into December 15th then. But you know, if you want to stop and not have the students doing any more trading after the end of November, that's fine. Your students just stop. Now, our rankings are based on the December 18th last day. But again, your students don't have to be active the entire time. This just means that you can start and stop when you're ready, and if you are ready early, then it'll be ready for you. We also have a 10-week trading window, and so, you know, if you know you're not going to even be able to look at anything till after October 13th, then you can go ahead and get into this one. Someday we may just have this one only because you're going to be competing only with the other schools that are competing in your session. So this breaks it out a little bit, makes it a little bit smaller. So someday, again, we may have it all in one. But again, always know that you can use as much of this as you can, because you know when you're just getting them started, thinking about their financial futures. So you know whatever you can do with it is best. Some teachers only have 6 weeks that they can use it for everything, and that's just one of the things that we realize, because it is not always the full semester investing course. You know, it might just be a small part of a family consumer science or a business econ course, or just somebody that's using it with a math class. So we have all kinds of different teachers using this program, and everybody uses it differently, and there's no set way and no set amount of time that you have to do. Now, we have resources that you could use for the entire semester probably, so don't hesitate to think you're going to run out of stuff to do if you are going to take advantage and use this a lot more. If you want to just do a teacher only team, then that would have been right here, but since you're registering as a teacher, then you can do one of these two. Now, if you're going to wait until spring, then your sessions are up here for the spring semester too. So as soon as you register for the spring semester, you'll get access to the teacher resources. So again, if you want to go ahead and register for spring, you're welcome to. But we do have really easy to follow resources, and it doesn't take a lot of prep work. We've made them really easy for people, especially that have no investing experience. So it's just do this, ask this, do this, you know, and it really does make it easy. So I would suggest that if you're new and you're starting to be on the edge about whether you want to do it fall or spring, I would say go ahead and give it a try this semester, because you know, just things, you know, sometimes the first time around you've got a lot of lessons to learn anyway, and things to see how students react. You know, there's a lot that will come up. So anyway, but it is a lot of fun, and again, don't worry about doing it perfect. It'll be different every time you're participating. That's one thing that's nice. You don't have to know it all when you use it. Okay, we're going to go with the up to 14 weeks because I'm planning to start in October, but hey, I might get a lot done. Now back to the blue, sign me up. If things are light blue, then just know that you're not ready to advance. But this won't let me disconnect it. All right, we're almost done. And now it says, how will you be paying? Now, we are not going to be charging for Kansas, K through 12 schools, so you can just say all done because there's nothing you have to worry about. You're not going to get a bill. Now, if you will be paying on your own, you're an adult team, then you can click check, purchase order, or whatever, and we'll be invoicing you later. So now we're all done here. And another thing you can do at this point is see a little bit more information about Kansas. I think that still comes in later too. All right, so now I've gone through and checked everything. Oh, it wants me to fill this in. I forgot that it does require me to say something. All right, so when you have a green check for everything, then you're ready to go. If you would like to go to have a workshop with me one-on-one, or at least be notified of some live webinars or something, you can click this box, and that means I will contact you and let you know what we have going on. So then if you are ready, one of the things you'll see that that is light green, and it's not going to turn dark green until you click this and go and take a look at the rules and code of participation if you want to. They really want you to do that first, and click submit. All right, now you can't change anything again, and you are going to be having an email in your account that will have your teacher ID and password, or your adult team and ID and password will come to you. But student teams are not generated until 3 weeks prior to their trading window. So if you were a teacher that registered for the spring semester or the October one for the fall, you are going to get your advisor ID immediately, and it should already be in your box. But the student IDs and passwords, again, will not be created and emailed to you until 3 weeks prior to their session. So again, if you picked the October one, then you're going to get it 3 weeks. Apologize for that. Forgot to turn my email off. You're going to get that email again just a few minutes. In fact, that email did come through, and I'm going to go ahead and show you something. This is kind of what you will see in your inbox. It's going to say this. And this is going to be your information. And it's going to coordinate or assign this ID and password, and this is where it will show up eventually. So this is what our new emails look like, so look for that. And everything also is going to say that it is from KCEE. Now that's okay, because I'm also going to show you this one. All right. This one actually has the advisor ID one for the teacher assigned to it. The other one was the teacher team that I created for myself. And every password and ID for a teacher is random letters and numbers, except for it's always going to start on the ID with KS underscore something, and then another number, and then underscore, and then a T. That's the only, I mean, like I say, those few things, it's going to look, or the format will be the same. And then your password is always, the first 3 are letters, and then you might have the 4th one be a letter, and then the rest will be numbers, but at least the first 3 are for sure letters. So that is an I. That one's pretty easy for me to read. Every once in a while we would have a problem with teachers trying to enter in like DG1289996 instead of DGI. Now they are case sensitive, so make sure you enter them exactly as you see them here. If you're having a problem and you just are sure it's wrong, go ahead and copy and paste it. But once you go through and do this, copy and paste, you'll notice that that picked up an extra space at the end, and you'll have to watch that when you paste it into the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, and then I'm going to go back to Stock Market Game here. And I'm at the Kansas Council website right now. Oops. StockMarketGame.org is again the one we were at, and I'm going to click login, and then I'm going to paste that. And when I did it earlier for somebody else, it, like say, it actually put that space in and it still would not register. So always go in and check that and make sure there's no space at the end, and then you'll be able to log in. Let me go ahead and pull the other one up here, the password too, and we'll just go ahead and log in, and I'll show you what you should see as a teacher. And again, hopefully it doesn't look like there's a space on this one, and let's make sure there's not a space in the beginning. Okay, good. So we should be able to log in. And once you're in, you can change your password to something that you'll remember. So the only thing you'll need to keep track of would be your username, and then the password, again, you'll remember. All right, so it worked. We're in, and this is the first thing you're going to see when you log in. There's always a pop-up box of some sort. Right now it is something that tells you a little bit about Invest It Forward, and then it'll have a little bit of information from me. And this is talking about our essay competition that we have, which is well worth the time for the students if they win. Okay, so once you get that box closed, then this is our Teacher Support Center. This is where all the resources are that you need, and this is what, like say a brand new screen, everything's new here. You can go through change password, I mentioned that. So as you scroll down, you're going to look for even more view rankings and portfolios. So once your students are in, or you want to see what's going on with your students, this is where you will come here. Help desk, have a question, click there and it will email here. There's a teacher's guide down here that if you're new, then I would like say scroll down and find that. There's a lot of neat stuff. Some PowerPoint presentations that they have and the rules of the stock market game. There's some participation certificates here, and you can print those out to present to kids that you can either, oh gosh, I've seen so many different things. You can either use it for the students that rank in the top and you're making a presentation to make some publicity out of it at your school assembly, or you just want to give them to everybody. You're welcome to do that. And then if you're tracking your portfolios, again, they've added another one of these, but this is what the icon looks like. So this is kind of, again, what you're going to look at, and you'll get used to going where you need to be. There's a syllabus, like if you want to come in and just look at everything for your grade level, you can now narrow it down. What's going to come up first is going to be everything that we have, and you'll see this is Understanding SMG, and this is MS at the end, so that's middle school, and this is high school. And if you're elementary on this one, I would just use this basic one. And then we get further down, we have this is about lesson to invest right. This is elementary school, and how to invest right for high school, and you'll find them again for everything. And so, but while like I say we're looking at everything right now, let's go ahead and minimize it. I'm working with high school, so I'm going to go ahead and put 9 through 12, or maybe I'll put well, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. And then apprentice level, this is going to give me automatically, as I click these boxes, you saw things were changing, and so now I have just the high school lessons. And if I want to go down and see just some basic lessons for brand new, that's just not a lot. I don't have a lot of time to spend with it. If I click and just do apprentice, that means I'm going to have 23 lessons for that are kind of the basics for just high school. And if I want to just select by my topic area, I can just keep going and getting smaller and smaller, like core lessons, the basic ones. I click yes, and then drop to 14. So that's going to give me understanding the basics, before you invest, which is a few things about company. But again, you'll just see that it's different on each thing as you filter. So let me go through one of these and just show you. Like on the second section, and we've got the lessons set up in sections. First one is Understanding SMG. That'll be like what you would cover before they actually start buying and selling. It's things that you would make sure they want to know on how to do the rules and things. So section 2 is what is a stock. So that's something they need to understand, and you can actually do that before, just so the students know a little bit. But if you can't get into all the stuff you want to before they start buying and selling, that's fine. Let them make a few mistakes. They don't have to know everything before they start doing this, because what they're going to remember is probably some of their mistakes. So that's okay to allow them to do that, and that's what I like about the stock market game. We're going to win no matter what, because you're going to learn something, and it's fictitious money, and it's better than my real account. But for this one lesson, if we click here on this, we're going to bring up the actual lesson description. The activities will not be here because we saw those under that section, but this is actually just what the teacher would see, and it's going to tell you suggested time. You're going to get the background with it, and these are all Adobe Acrobat readers, so hopefully you should be able to open these and print them. You've got your vocabulary here that you'll be working with, and that's a great thing for the students to start hearing these words and learning what they mean. Objectives, your material, and again, here's where we get to the springboard activities where we say ask this, do this, and try to help you get conversations going. And this is distribute activity sheet, But yeah, you're not going to find the activity sheet here. And you can adapt this lesson for novice level, or as your students go up, you can do more with it. So if you have some teams that are really ahead and you want to go ahead and give them some additional things to do, that's really easy to do here. And if you have some students that are struggling, then you keep them on the novice level. Oh, I'm going to go down through and show you at the end. And all of our lessons are kind of written the same way. We've got some assessment activity here, and application, and enrichment activities. So there's a lot of reading and writing in the stock market game, and that's something we've always, kind of been really a large part of math and language arts. So I made it easy for us to bring in Common Core. And we do have all of our lessons correlated to the Common Core math and language arts too. All right, so now you're looking for the activities, and you'll see those each underneath here. And then the nice thing about the activities is that, we'll go through and give you that. And if we can, we'll give you the answers. So that one should have had an answer sheet. So anything that should have an answer sheet that you think that we could, then we will give you one. Now this one probably wouldn't, because they're going to be writing stuff. But if you're looking for an answer sheet, you should be able to find that in your lesson itself. And if it's not there, then let me know and we'll go and find it. Okay, yeah, here we did have the activity or answer sheets at the end. I just didn't go down far enough. All right, so answer sheets here, activities here. And then we have a curriculum called Math Behind the Market, and we have those activities actually mixed into the lessons. But if you're a math teacher and you want to have the whole entire math curriculum in a separate book printed, you can go to a different area, and I'll show you that on the teacher resource training that we'll do a little bit later, and you can follow along with that webinar. But that's just the basics of it, and again, I'll go into more detail with some of that on a further webinar, but just for those of you that are new, I wanted to show you how this is set up. All right, so that's our Teacher Support Center. I'm going to go back to the home page where I signed in, and now I'm back to where I was before. Now, if I want to look at View Rankings and Portfolios, I'll click here, and this is going to show me how my students, where my classes will be. And so when my teams process overnight, then it's going to be listed under class name. And I'm going to have both my classes, and each one of my team IDs and passwords will be listed here, and I should be able to see my passwords at that point. And then I can view rankings and portfolio or rankings here. So there's a lot of neat stuff for you to see once this is created. So the first few days, again, there's not much else outside the curriculum, but again, to go to the Teacher Support Center, clicked on Resources, and I'm back here. All right, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. My email is kcee@wichita.edu, and I'll just type it right in right here. So you're looking at this. So any emails from me, you can communicate to kcee@wichita, whoops, that's a .edu. And you want to make sure this is on your safe list and that you're able to receive email from this account, because if you can't, then that will be why your passwords and things are not coming to you. They'll probably show up in your junk mail folder, or they'll be completely blocked by your school server. So make sure kcee@wichita.edu is added to your safe list. And again, you may just need to verify that by sending it to your tech person and let them know that it's okay to allow those to come through. All right, well, thank you, and we'll look forward to working with you. And again, if you ever need to contact with me, the help desk is a great way right here, and it's going to let you go in and tell me what you're doing and what problem you're having with what account. Give me a description, and I'll get back with you as soon as we can. And again, thank you for your time and going through this with me, and we'll look forward to working with you. Thank you very much.